Keeping a relationship going requires some effort. There's a lot of payoff in it, but it requires some effort. And the effort might be to simply give time to the relationship, to nurture the relationship, and the time might be to face, and ideally a calm and constructive way, the problems that the two of you are struggling with.
If I was having problems in a relationship, I would go to my friends.
I would go home to my family. I would go when it was starting to really emotionally abuse me.
I probably wouldn't go to my family because I feel a little uncomfortable discussing those kind of things with them.
I'd go to my roommate, Catherine. She's really good with men, so she's always got like 10 guys around.
I feel like it's best going to someone who isn't part of the, who hasn't even seen you with that person.
I would cry to my friends and then probably fly home to my parents, and then if I really needed to, I would seek therapy, I guess.
We don't know a lot about the process of couples seeking therapy. We do know that a fair proportion of couples who go on to divorce never seek therapy. However, typically, at least in my experience, couples enter therapy after some kind of crisis. Usually there's been a buildup of dissatisfaction, but often there's some kind of major argument between the two of them that leads at least one of them to move past the hurdle of actually making a call, seeking out some kind of professional intervention.
We were talking about drug addiction, which I had a boyfriend who had a drug problem. And during my attempts to intervene or to speak up and try to help him out, he got very angry, and he said, "You don't know anything about addiction. You don't know anything about drugs. You're completely ignorant. So just, you know." And it was like probably the most hurtful thing I remember to this day, because here's someone that I care about and I want to help out so much, and he's telling me that I don't even have the right to speak up.
It's not easy to intervene with couples. In some ways, it seems easy at first because it's often easy to make temporary changes in couples' behavior toward one another, particularly if the couple is not too unhappy or too dissatisfied at the beginning. But the challenge is making enduring changes. It reminds me of Mark Twain's line that it's easy to quit smoking. I've done it many times.
One way that you can improve an unfulfilling relationship is remembering that you can't wish someone to change.
You can improve an unfulfilling relationship by more communication.
I think two things have to happen as well. I think there needs to be a desire and a commitment by both partners to make the relationship better. And then I think, as you just said, the most important thing from there is just to be completely open.
Yeah, the communication
That's
is key.
Nothing's going to get better without it.
Given the area you don't feel fulfilled in. So if you are not being fulfilled in the area of, say, affectionate words, like your partner is not speaking kindly to you or saying sweet nothings into your ear, do it for them.
If it's unfulfilling, it probably just means that the two of you have gotten into that comfort zone and you don't want to go out. So step out of that comfort zone, try things that are new and exciting.
The common way of going about change is a very deliberate strategy of telling people what they should do differently and encouraging them to do that. So self-help books on couples are filled with these kind of what we call rule-governed change strategies. They encourage couples to have a weekly night when they go out on dates together. They encourage couples to kiss each other passionately every night before they go to bed. They encourage couples not to let the sun go down on their anger and the like. Now, it's easy to make wonderful rules for couples to follow, but the problem is we know that couples have a great deal of difficulty implementing those rules on a continuing basis. The new treatment that we developed has a couple of distinguishing features. One is that it emphasizes what we call emotional acceptance in addition to active change. By emotional acceptance, we mean how partners respond to actions by the other person. So if my partner is critical of me, or if she's not as appreciative as me as I might like, I can try to create change in that, have her be less critical, have her be more appreciative. That would be deliberate change. But the other side of it is my emotional response to that. The fact that I get so terribly hurt, let's say, when she criticizes me, or that I feel so terribly neglected if she's not appreciative of me. It's those aspects of emotional reactivity that we address in our treatment.
If I had a very serious problem in my relationship and I were married, I would be open to the idea of marital therapy. I think saving the marriage is very important.
That's so hard to say because often relationships start out so well. But if a relationship gets bad enough, I guess, why bother staying in it?
But is a dissolution, is separation and divorce clearly always a failure? The idea of defining success and failure in couples therapy has to some extent haunted the field a little bit. We think there is a way of defining success or failure, and it simply has to do with a criterion of what leads to satisfaction by most members of the family. And so if a separation leads to an improvement in satisfaction by the wife, improvement in satisfaction and functioning by the husband, and the children are all doing better, then that separation, divorce, is clearly an improvement over the existing situation. However, it becomes very complicated even with that criteria because a separation or divorce does not have the same impact on everyone. It may be good for the spouses, but not good for the children.
It was my senior year of high school when my mother filed for divorce. My mom filed in January, and the following April, my dad was remarried with the baby on the way. So my mother still isn't remarried. She just started dating again. So it was all kind of fast.
There's a piece of common advice in the family therapy literature is that the only person you can really change is yourself. However, if you change yourself, then you invariably create changes in the relationship and in your partner.
Focus inward first. Before you decide to be nitpicky about others, focus on yourself and find out what it is within yourself that you're really having a problem with.
Listen to yourself, to your heart. I mean, you know yourself the best. You have to trust yourself the most.
Just really got to know who you are and be happy with that and content with that to have a successful relationship. So if you're not, it's just not going to work.